Welcome to Small Town Snarks. I'm Joel.
And I'm Miranda. Let's get snarky.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do when a man's gotta do what he's got to. A well-bred wife with
I don't know this part.
with a silver spoon and knife will butter your bread twice as good as you do. I remember. Yeah, okay, that's as far as
Yeah,
I know the whole
no
song. I know
copyright.
the whole score. I mean, I could do a one-man Bright Star,
I would love to see that.
and there would just be a whole bunch of hats on stage. And like when I play different characters, I'd just grab a hat and just go.
That is the most.
Get ready for my pour me another round. I would be like, I'd be all over that stage.
Our high school drama teacher pitched a very similar concept to me when I was directing a show. Just have them take accessories on and off to represent the different characters.
I mean, that is a choice.
Well, you're going to talk about similar choices to that with your minimalism soapbox, but we got stuff we gotta
catch
talk
up
about first.
It's been a minute.
When's the last time we recorded?
It was
a
like
month ago?
4 weeks ago. So those of you that are listening, first off, thank you for sticking with us. We are technically, chronologically, we are at a full year of podcasting as of this week, which is really, really exciting. We're going to be celebrating a 50th episode at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Probably already happened, or it's going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. It's gonna happen.
Happen sometime.
Love it. Yeah, all of these podcast episodes recently have just been all sorts of different orders. But it's now the week between, or I guess it's like the end. When is it? It's that time of year when nobody knows what day it is.
Yeah, it's in between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, the holidays are happening. There's
Yeah.
another one tomorrow. Like, things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been several weeks. It was early December, maybe? Yeah, it was before Rudolph. It was early December.
It must have been early December.
Is that right? I guess it has been that long.
Yeah, because we didn't record when I was in tech.
And I was out of town.
Yeah.
And then we're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
I closed my last show
You
until the summer.
You did. And it has been 8 solid months of nonstop theater.
Yes.
How does that feel? How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah.
I felt briefly bored,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just watched a movie.
Are you picking up any hobbies or anything? Are you gonna start?
I'm reading a lot.
Oh, okay, good.
And I've been reading, but I haven't had time to
read.
really read.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm reading a lot.
Mm-hmm. I was really hoping you'd say I'm picking up origami, pottery. I've done 3 pottery
Crafting
classes.
is not my thing. It's not, and I've accepted that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, reading, watching movies. There's a lot of movies that I've wanted to see.
Yeah, lots come out in the last 8 months.
I know. I've just been behind. But yeah, it's been good. I think there'll be a point where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do this again. But I think I'm at a point where I'd rather miss it than feel like I'm going nonstop and spiraling.
One of my favorite things about you, just as the professional that you are, and also just the way you are as a person, you can never fully separate. You want to know what's going on. You want just a quick update. You want to know what's happening. Just make sure things are still rolling. But you're taking the time, and I think that's good for you.
Yeah, I think as long as there are shows going on, there's always stuff that I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just recently we were talking about some of the logistics with the show that you have going on and stuff like that. So I'm still, supporting, but I kind of get to, dip in and out when I want.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of the great things. And I do love seeing the show come together, but not feeling like I have all the stakes in it.
Yes.
It's so much like, I mean, it's personal when you're producing it, but it's like a different level of personal when you're directing it. It's like,
yeah. You got a lot of ownership over that.
It's on you. Like, you gotta get it together.
Yeah.
And Rudolph came together, but it felt like it came together at the last second, and it's great that it came together, but there was a time where I was like, wow, it wasn't happening, and then all of a sudden it happened like it always does, but it was a little stressful there near the end.
Yeah. Well, and it always helps when Meryl Streep shows up at the last performance to lead the audience and have a holly Christmas. I mean,
know. I know, and then Meryl gave everyone the flu, though, so that was kind of a bummer. It was really cute, though, because on the 2-show day, so since I had a projector set up, I was able to hook up that's why I had Alan, our Bluetooth speaker. My Bluetooth speaker's name is Alan.
That's a whole side episode, Bluetooth speakers around here.
I had him with me, and I was able to hook up my laptop to the projector, connected it with Bluetooth, and then we watched the holiday special. So a bunch of the kids sat there eating pizza, watching the holiday special together, and they would like cheer when their characters came on, and it was super cute. So
they did such a great job. It was so cute.
They did. It was like, I've been really enjoying this whole theater for young audiences kind of kick that we've been on. We've been doing at least one a year, and it's a different way of doing theater, but it's so much fun. Like, the Bumble character became like so much better than I could have even imagined. He kind of became like a fan favorite. So I remember at first, like, when I had constructed the costume, Dakota was like, I think he might scare some kids, and I was like, he might, but like the way that actor, the choices they made were really like, you're rooting for poor Bumble. So it was a good time. It really was.
Yeah.
It was one of those shows that is the gift that kept on giving. Like, I didn't get all the scripts back. I had to hunt down scripts. You know, kids had drawings in them that I had to erase.
And that is not a problem unique to kids.
No, but for this show, it was kids. Although one of the scripts I didn't get back that was from an adult, but I had to erase a full Among Us drawing.
These kids these days,
in the script,
they are Among Us fanatics.
Have you seen them play live Among Us?
Oh, I have.
You saw it during Wizard of Oz?
During Wizard of Oz.
That was pretty fun.
That was chaos. My favorite was, I've played it once or twice.
Yeah.
You know. But my favorite was the young kids explaining to their parents what Among Us was, and the parents just being like, okay, have fun.
Just totally like, I have so many Rudolph stories, but I'm going to save them.
Yes, when we get to that episode in 2029.
You say that. Audience, Joel's in denial that we're never going to catch up. I think we're going to catch up sooner than you think.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, we got through almost 4, 5, 6, 5.5 years of shows in the last year. Now, granted, there was a pandemic in there, and the first 4 years we only did a single show. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, we'll see.
We will.
We'll see, and we keep cranking these shows out. So
yeah. Well, you saw the Wicked tour recently.
Oh my gosh, did I ever?
And you had some big feelings about it.
I did. So I mean, holidays, everybody loves a good family trip to the legitimate theater. I've got a lot of feelings, not just about the tour itself, but about the legitimate theater.
Oh, we want to talk about the Kennedy Center? Because I thought about that and kind of wanted to talk about
I wasn't even going to talk about that institution, which is, I've got feelings there too, but it's just the lovely Hippodrome, my touring venue of choice these days. Saw the Wicked tour. Thought it was lovely. I have seen Wicked many, many times all over many different places over the years. I just love the joy. We went to a matinee, and the joy of just 2,000 people experiencing that show all together. Like, it's magical. And I sat there, and I think my favorite discovery was that as of January of this year, it will be 20 years since I first saw Wicked at what was formerly known as and should always be referred to as the Kennedy Center. 20 years ago in January, which is just unbelievable. But like seeing kids with their grandparents, with the parents, all watching it together was really magical.
Did you see any kids dressed up?
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Everybody was wearing pink and green, and like it was so, like, that energy was so good, and the show just holds up. Like, the production holds up so well. Where I have my gripes, a couple quick things. Sound is the hardest job on earth, especially when you are not in a venue for 20 plus years or even a year, or when you're not staying in a venue for an extended period of time. I've seen many Broadway shows where very, very rarely, you might have a sound quabble here or there, but it is so hard to bring a show in that is on tour into a venue, especially when you have an understudy. We had an understudy for Alphaba. When you have an understudy whose voice they haven't been able to level in the space, and to try and make sure that the quality of the orchestra versus the performers versus, everything was balanced, slightly rough, and I was a little disappointed by that. When I hear those songs, I want them to blow me out of the theater. I just want, So,
you couldn't hear it very well?
There were moments where the orchestra was very soft, and I was like, this usually doesn't happen this way. And then it was sad, spoiler alert, when Alphaba confronts Glinda after Dorothy arrives in Oz in Act 2, there's a big fight. Alphaba's mic kept cutting in and out during that scene. And it was funny. You could tell, because the next song is No Good Deed after that moment. And you could tell she knew that she was having some issues, because she came out for No Good Deed and just blew it away. It was spectacular. The volume was perfect. It was great. But there were just a couple moments where I was like, gosh, I know what you're saying here. I've heard this line 1,000 times, but I want to hear you. I want to root for you, and I can't hear you.
That's hard.
Yeah, and it's just a trouble with touring shows sometimes. And
even on Broadway, it happens.
It does.
Yeah.
There's always a thing or two.
Usually they can fix it faster because they know the space so well, but it does happen.
And it's also hard when you're in a granted, the Gershwin Theater on Broadway is very, very large, but the Hippodrome's 2,300 feet, somewhere around there. That's a big space to have to get sound evenly leveled out. So
that's one of my favorite things about seeing a show on Broadway is the theaters do feel a lot more intimate. They are larger, but they're old buildings, and the architecture just feels like there's not a ton of people there. I actually saw on TikTok recently the guy who runs or supports with the sound for Wicked on Broadway. And he was doing a little video. I'll send it to you.
Oh, with the mics backstage? Yes, I saw that.
Oh, backstage? Or
he was backstage
on the glasses and stuff?
Yes,
Yeah, I thought that was so cool. He was showing how they wire the mics, and it was funny because the way he had coiled the cable, I saw in the comments, people were like, I can't handle that. And I immediately cringed too. They must go through those things like nobody's business.
Well, when you're making $4 million a week, which that is the exact amount of money they made this past holiday week, was just over $4 million.
In profit?
And at this point in time,
I guess they have to pay salary.
Right, that type of stuff. But total gross for Wicked this past week was the highest grossing show of the week, and it was over $4 million. When you're making that kind of money, buying an extra microphone cable is, a drop in the bucket at the end of the day. But
it was intense, and they paint her Alphaba's microphone green too.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But
Yeah, it's a really fascinating thing. But you know, the other point, well, the other two small points that I'll make, you mentioned about the size of the space. One thing I miss about Wicked when I see it on tour versus seeing it in New York is, yes, the space in New York is so big, but so much of the set comes out into and beyond the proscenium.
Yeah.
That it leads to that like intimate like feeling, and like on tour you can't do that as much, and like it looks really great on tour and you get, you know, 90% of the show is what you anticipate, and it just feels grander when you see it in New York, and that just always bums me out a little bit. But
and don't they like they do certain things with the monkeys too in New York that they
they fly over the audience, which they can't do on tour. Yeah, I mean there's like extra trap doors on Broadway, which obviously you can't do on tour, and like that type of stuff. But
I mean, Wicked's not that far off from people building theaters for them
to perform
specifically to perform it.
It's just one of those unique shows that I feel like if the money was there and they had a big enough audience in the area, they would do that, you know. But the only other criticism that I have was not actually about the tour itself. It's about the legitimate theater. What frustrates me more and more over the years is the behavior of patrons.
I need to stop you. Why are you calling it the legitimate theater?
Because I'm going to compare the legitimate theater to like a movie theater with what I'm about to say. So
just in like live theater,
live professional theater
in general, not the Hippodrome specifically.
Correct.
Okay.
When you're in the legitimate theater,
it makes you sound so pretentious.
And that is kind of part of the point of the comment I'm going to make is I don't know when people stopped eating before they went to the theater. But to the people sitting behind me, I don't know if they bought every bag of popcorn that theater had before they sat down. The amount of crinkling of containers that I'm like, are they having takeout back there? Like,
did they tap the side of the takeout box?
They didn't, but there was just so much, you know, that like plastic, like crunching sound. I heard that so much. I get it, and I will say, I love myself a peanut M&M when I go to the legitimate theater. I will get myself a bag, a $29 bag. It's not that much, but it's pretty close. Do you open
it before the show starts?
Yes, and honestly, I'll get them at intermission, and I'll eat the whole bag before Act 2 even starts, because I don't want to chomp on food.
Right.
While everyone around me is trying to listen to No Good Deed. Like, I want to be in the show. I don't want to hear you crinkling your rotisserie chicken behind me.
That is part of the movie culture.
Yes. And that's the thing. And I'm like, we really does sound pretentious, but like, you go to the theater, you want to. It's different when you're in a movie theater because you're watching a movie. The people that are performing for you are not physically in that space.
It's also not a dinner theater. Like, there are opportunities for you to eat and watch theater.
Yes. That was not one of them. Someone is belting. Defying Gravity is being performed on stage in front of you right now. And you have your 5-course dinner spread crinkling behind my head.
Your TV dinner tray and your...
Yes! Gosh, it just... I don't know what set me off. And I'm like, this is... The great thing about Wicked, we talked about this, I think, on the movie episode. And, you know, I've talked about this before. But, like, the thing about live theater, and specifically shows like Wicked, is this is your on-ramp for younger audiences to get and fall in love with theater. It worked for me. You know, I've taken many people to Wicked for their first musical, you know, like it's a big thing. But like, in addition to taking them to experience their first musical, make it the full experience. Go have a nice meal beforehand, or it's a matinee, go to dinner afterwards.
Right.
Go in, make it a spectacle. This is good, you know, go in, you know, make it a full experience for you.
And if you've got people in your group that need a snack, because there are people like that.
That's also what I was saying.
Yeah, but open your loud containers, put them in a Ziploc bag or something.
Yes.
And then eat out of that during the show, because that's not as loud. Like,
yes. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I will eat peanut M&Ms, and yes, there are times where I will eat them during the show, but I will not
Because I get it, like if
intentionally.
you've traveled a while, you didn't have time to eat before.
Or if it's a health matter, please,
Right.
by all means,
I
definitely do what you
understand,
gotta
like,
do.
You don't want to be thinking about the fact that you're hungry when you're watching the show, but also be respectful to the performers and the people around you.
Yes, yeah, it just, they ate nonstop. And like, it's a thing on Broadway now, there are theaters that serve like ice cream, and like, I know.
Ice cream, that's so messy though.
Mm-hmm. But it's a thing. It's a thing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, we've got to get to a point where we're not like, it's not dinner theater, to your point.
It's the attention span. This is, okay, you ready?
This is turning into a whole other episode. I'm so ready.
This is Miranda and Joel are getting old. We have conditioned people with their phones and with social media.
Yeah.
That we only need their attention for around 30 seconds at a time.
Mm-hmm. It's the TikTok mindset.
If that, like, honestly, it's less than that. Like, I look at, our video stats from STS trailers. Those trailers are 30 seconds long. Most people watch up to the 10-second mark.
Mm-hmm. And they scroll on.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really concerning. I think not just for our art form, but also like just society as a whole. Like I see so many people who they can't sit through a movie without getting their phone out or doing something while they're watching it. And I think that's a huge part of it is you're asking people to sit down for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
People don't do that anymore.
No.
They don't. And like they need another thing to engage their brain while they're watching.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, and this is going to just completely derail us into another conversation as well. But that attention and focus thing, we mentioned that we were on hiatus from recording for a little bit.
Yeah.
And during that time, I went to Florida because that's all I ever do when I travel anymore.
Or New York. It's
Or
one
New
or the
York.
other.
Yes, exactly. But this time I went to Florida and I saw there's a new Zootopia show.
Oh yeah.
In Animal Kingdom. That was a perfect example of what you were just describing. So I was, for those of you familiar, the Tree of Life, the big tree in the middle of Animal Kingdom, has a theater under it that used to have a Bug's Life show, which I was a big fan of. I love Bug's Life. I think it's one of Pixar's best movies. Hot take. They recently swapped it out with the Zootopia movie. Theater show, it's 3D, 4D movie.
Right.
But the thing that I thought of as soon as it ended, first off, I was not a huge fan of it.
Okay. Bummer.
It was entertaining, but to the point you were just making, it was, we're here, we're there, we're going over here, we're moving over here, we're doing this, this is happening. Okay, we're here for 3 seconds. Oh, okay, time to move on. Oh, here's this special effect. Oh, move. Okay. There was no like, here's the story. Here's what's happening next. All right, we're going to live here in this moment for a little bit and tell you some more. It was very like, boom, boom, boom,
It's
next
so
thing, next thing, next
sad.
thing. Yeah. Well, you don't get to build any like association with any of the characters or the story because it's.
And I get why they did it because you have to now.
To keep
like
attention spans.
I think I talked to you about this with working with the kids, but it's crazy. They'll be bouncing off the walls when I'm trying to teach them choreography or something, and then just like wanting to talk to each other, wanting to hang out, blah blah blah, begging for a break. I'm like, okay, 5-minute break, and then they all go sit in their own little spot against the wall and just pull out their phones.
Yeah.
Like they don't talk to each other on breaks at all, and it's just. Time will tell, I think, what that
effect will have.
Yeah. It's gonna have some effect. I was talking to one of the kids' moms, and she's saying just now research is starting to come out that kids shouldn't have phones until at least 16 because of what it does to your brain. And I believe that. But anyway, that's my huge tangent. But I think it's attention spans, and I think especially when you're talking an entry-level musical like Wicked is, you've got people who aren't used to going to theater, who need something additional to do in order to occupy their brains. And
Yeah, and to that point, and like I'll just use this to wrap this up so we can move into our other conversation, but like I think one of the best things about this art form is that everybody is welcome and it's very inclusive.
Right.
And it's almost a come as you are, or open arms, And I don't want my comments to be taken in a way where it, theater is elitist and
No,
you
I
need
don't
to be in a.
think you came across that.
But I think what's important to remember is that, like, at the end of the day, you're paying to go and see someone physically stand in front of you and be emotional, be funny, to, fly in the air. And, like, as an audience member, being respectful and being in the moment with them and giving. Performers many times will say that, like, they give the energy back to the audience that the audience gives to them, and when the audience is really engaged, you can see how that impacts a performer. And I think just from a moral standpoint, just keep that in mind if you're going to go and see a show.
Well, I think storytelling is one of, obviously we're both very passionate about it, but it's one of the most important things that we do as people.
Yeah.
Tell stories. And even the kids in Wizard of Oz, we had someone in the audience who like kept pulling their phone out, and it took them out of it completely. Like the kids were like going backstage, like reporting it constantly, like they just could not focus. And they're giving you something so special when you see a live performance. Like the performers are giving you something, and like you need to be open to receiving it and don't take advantage of it. And
if you want to be on your phone, pick another night to come to the theater, or don't go to see that show.
Which is also, what theater should be open to everyone, which is why we shouldn't politicize it by slapping names on it that don't belong on it.
Yeah, that could be a whole episode on itself. Just between that and the people that continue to announce that they're no longer performing, which, good on ya.
Here's the one thing I'll say on it, and we can decide if we want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
But here's the thing. If the president wanted to fund a building for the arts, and then they wanted to name it after themselves, I would have no problem with that, because it's another art venue and you're providing to the community. I mean, assuming that they're not censoring what goes in there. It's the fact that this was already an established institution that was home to a lot of artists and the community, and they basically said, hey, just so you know, like, I control this too. And I think that's where people like us start to get pretty uncomfortable, is when they start moving in on the arts. Like, if you want to contribute more art, by all means. Like, I might not agree with it, but art is not meant to make everyone comfortable. But if you want to take over something that was really important to people, I have a problem with that.
Yeah. I'm open to conversations of realizing that, like, there's always in the arts people that are going to feel underrepresented. And if that's an argument you're trying to make, I'll hear you out. That would be a blanket statement to anybody, anybody.
Yeah.
The thing that I think has just blown my mind about this whole situation is that I feel like for the longest time I've had a really good, I'm not even going to pretend like this is not sarcastic. I have had a fantastic pulse on what is popular in theater. Now, granted, that venue has been home to some of the most world-class dance, theater, music. I mean, it's got a venue for just about every art form you can think of. It's got art galleries, it's got everything. I, for the longest time, was under the impression that I had a really good pulse on what art was being well received. And I just think it's very telling when you look at the art that was there in previous seasons, specifically talking about theater. I'll narrow it down there, but I think it's pretty consistent across the board as far as other art forms. If you look at the theater that is being taken to that space versus the other productions that are going to some of the other venues, you look at the National Theater, which also gets first run Broadway tours. You look at the Hippodrome, which good on Baltimore. I'm going to give them a lot of credit because they have put financial incentives into place so that way tours will be incentivized to start in Baltimore, which is a really big thing. But you look at the quality and the number of productions and the first run tours that used to go into that space in DC that are no longer going there anymore. And that is a really good measurement of where we are at as far as what they are receiving, the quality. Not saying that, there's a lot of performers that are still stuck with performing there, and that's not a criticism on them necessarily, but you look at the quality and the way things have changed across the board, and there's a big conversation
there's legality issues with their contracts, and they didn't sign a contract with the venue being that name that it is now. But just recently an artist was in the news for canceling their show, and now the Kennedy Center is trying to sue them. So it's just, I think what to take away from it, if there's something to take away from it, is it's a reminder of how powerful the arts are. When you have people in top positions in a country that all of a sudden want to have direct control over a big artistic institution like that.
Dare I say one of the biggest in this country.
That means that the arts are actually doing their job, and they are challenging beliefs, which is what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
No matter what side or wherever you're at, they're just supposed to make you think. So I do think from that perspective, I'm happy that art has been doing its thing, doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that has caused some fear from certain individuals. But I think with especially with what our country is, founded on and what we believe, it's pretty scary when people start going after the arts.
That just makes the artists want to do more art.
Yep, so keep going.
Yes, keep supporting the arts.
Keep supporting, keep performing, keep expressing yourself, because you got more power than you think.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel like we just took a whole episode of catching up. Maybe we need to do a different Bright Star.
I mean, I've got like a couple of things that we can. I got a couple things.
Let's wrap it up, and then we'll finish Bright Star in a different episode.
Okay, that's fine. Sure. Yeah. So I mean, just to wrap up on kind of these conversations, I think it's a really interesting time to be an artist and to be a patron of the arts. And some of the most compelling and interesting theater out there right now is addressing and questioning topics that are painted as taboo, or that are questioning a lot of the information that we're receiving. So, and it's funny, I think about seeing Wicked the other week, and Wicked is a highly, highly, highly political story at its root. And people were saying that a lot with the movie, with part 2 coming out, because that's where a lot of that heavy politics lives. But I just would encourage anybody that's going to see a show to not only go and see these shows that are super popular, these crazy, blockbuster musicals that are playing just down the road right now, making them very accessible for people, which I would highly encourage people to take advantage of those. Look out for those obscure shows that maybe there's a show you are like, wow, I've never heard of that play, or what is that about? And do some research, and maybe it's something you want to try, or just give it a try. community theater is a very tough business. Regional theater, very, very tough business. Broadway, I know I made that comment earlier about Wicked making $4 million.
Yeah, but that's nothing compared to the movie.
Oh, that's nothing? Right. But to that point, Wicked makes $4 million. There are several plays and musicals right now that aren't making their money.
Yeah.
And that are, holding out for award season and holding out for all of the other, big things coming out in the future. There is so much theater out there, and there's so much great. There's wonderful storytelling happening.
Yep. And it's okay to be uncomfortable, and it's okay to be mad.
Yes.
And sometimes,
yes,
it's good to sit with that for a minute.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I remember when you did August Osage, I left with more questions than answers, but that was kind of cool.
Well, and that's, and honestly, we'll talk about this more with Bright Star too, because I think this is also a story that plays into this as well. But some of my favorite theater is theater that I always used to joke, and I think I've told you this before, but usually when I see shows with people, there's a moment in the show, you'll know when I'm really engaged by a story if I lean forward and I rest my head on my hand, or I'm this is like a oh, he's really invested in what's going on kind of reaction. But those types of shows are the ones that first off you remember. I had never seen, and we'll talk about August Osage County in a couple shows, but I had never seen that show performed live. I'd only ever seen the movie, but I knew from the movie and from the storytelling and from reading the script that this was a show that I was going to be highly engaged with and highly interested in. And I had that same experience with Bright Star when I saw it live the first time. I'm like, oh, I'm invested.
Yeah. And
there's a story here that really, really needs to be told. So yeah, I love that point of just question it, see it, have thoughts, have feelings. If you're upset about it, be upset about it. If you're happy about it, be happy about it. Take something away. Let it be a great experience for you.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah. Well, do we want to call it there?
I feel like we should. I mean, Daryl never flagged us, but I feel like we're
Joke's
there.
on us. We've only been talking for 10 minutes.
Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh. But yeah, let's call it there.
Yeah.
And we'll
more Bright Star to come. Well, all the Bright
all
Star
the Bright
to come.
Star. I love that we started with Bright Star, but then just didn't. But that's okay. Surprise.
Surprise bonus episode.
Exactly. Bonus gossip episode.
Alrighty.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for getting snarky with us. We'll see you later.
See you next time.